You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Caitlin Becker. Merrill Davis and Charlie White have been skating together since they were kids. And as the longest tenured ice dancing duo in the country, they've won the gold at Sochi and separately danced their way into America's hearts without the skates on Dancing with the Stars, with Merrill taking home the coveted Mirror Ball trophy. And now Merrill and Charlie are here to tell us more about competing together and for the first time against each other. So welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So they split you guys up.
They did.
Was there a lot of trash talk?
Yes, nonstop. No. We've been talking a lot about, sort of the perception versus the reality, and I think, the show definitely wanted to try to set up a rivalry, but it was really tough for us to ignore this past 17 years of partnership that we spent bonding and becoming, a single unit. And just the whole experience, I think, was more enjoyable because we were in it together.
That's such a nice answer. Oh, come on. She won.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I got the boot before the finale, and I felt redeemed in America's eyes.
That's very sweet.
Was it weird for you guys to partner with new people since you're so used to being with one another and really understanding each other's movements and idiosyncrasies and bodies?
It wasn't weird, actually, and I think it's interesting because we are used to being coached, and we've been one another's only real partner in skating, and yet on Dancing with the Stars, our partners were not only our dancing partners, but also our instructors. And so it was a very different dynamic. We didn't feel like it was completely parallel. And we just had so much fun. We just weren't really overthinking it, to be honest.
So Dancing with the Stars takes people from pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Not everyone is an Olympic-trained athlete, particularly in something, sort of a version of dance. Do you guys think you went in with an unfair advantage?
I think that's a fair question. We were saying earlier that, it was harder than we even expected it to be, the transition. I was hoping it would be easier. But, the beautiful thing on ice is that you take one step and you glide. And that movement itself adds grace to, basically nothing. You've done nothing and you look graceful. And on the floor you take a step and you've just taken one step and you stop and you have to keep going. And it's much harder and your center of balance is different. When you're doing the ballroom steps, for us, learning the choreography, it just feels like there's an infinite amount of directions that you can go. You step forward and then you can either step back or you can step to the side, you can go down, you can go up. And on the ice, there's a pattern that we're totally used to. And then you throw in the subtle differences in the way that you hold your partner. And it was little things like that kept popping up and made a little aggravating because, like I said, I was kind of hoping it would be easier.
In the very beginning, let's compare ourselves here. I am nobody. I can't really dance. I took it when I was 7, but we go out there dancing against each other. Do you see someone like me or the other contestants who have never done any choreography, don't know their right from their left? I like to lead when I dance, which is probably not a good thing. And you guys are sitting there like, oh yeah, we got this. We so got this.
I mean, I don't think there was any point where we felt like we had it. I think certainly, we would be lying if we said that we didn't have any sort of advantage. Of course, we are used to performing under pressure, we're used to training, we're used to partnering. So, of course, there are things that we're taking from our career on the ice into Dancing with the Stars. And we tried to use those things to our advantage. We found different things incredibly challenging, as Charlie said, and more so than I think we perhaps expected, but we really had an amazing time, and for us, I think that's really what it was about.
And I think, too, the other competitors, starting from nothing, I think America could relate, and seeing their progress in and of itself was impressive. And that was something that, we had a smaller window to improve, whereas someone who was starting from, with no experience could really show each week, a very big step. And I think that in and of itself is impressive.
So what did you guys think of your partners when you first got assigned? Because from what I understand, no one has any clue until it's announced.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're like, who am I going to get partnered with? So you meet them, and what do you both think?
I didn't really know what to think, to be honest. I had watched the show, but not consistently, and so I didn't know a lot about the pros' personalities. Charlie and I had worked with Derek, so of course I knew Derek well, but other than that, I kind of came in with a clean slate, which I think definitely was a good thing.
Yeah, like Meryl, I had watched the show previously, and Sharna had been with Andy Dick. And
you guys are so similar.
I know, right?
What?
And I remembered vividly thinking to myself, like, wow, she's doing an amazing job, with him, as someone, again, who really didn't have any dance experience. And so when I saw her, of course, I was excited because I knew that choreographically she was going to be awesome. I didn't know what to expect from her personality, but like just the coolest, most easygoing, patient, teacher/partner. And I think both of us really lucked out, and we got exactly what we needed.
It was interesting for viewers who, because this came right kind of on the heels of Sochi. We watched you and we were so used to seeing you two and how you guys interacted with each other. To see you with different partners, I think was probably weirder for us than anyone else. You turned out a bit of a sexy side.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm not surprised that you haven't. You didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun to kind of get out of the box, and it was fun to really kind of let loose. I think that going into the Olympics, we had such a clear goal in mind that while we were enjoying it, while of course ice skating is something that we're incredibly passionate about, I think we felt a lot of pressure going into the games. And so people say, I mean, weren't you nervous on Dancing with the Stars? And to an extent, of course we were. You're on live television. But at the same time, compared to the Olympic Games, I think we just felt like we could just be ourselves and be loose and enjoy expressing ourselves without the amount of pressure that we had kind of grown accustomed to.
Are you both still talking with your partners?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely, it's such an intense time period. You spend so much time together, and you really want to make the most of it. And I think it's just so much easier if you can become friends. And with the personalities of Max and Sharna, it was easy. And so I'm definitely, one of my favorite things about the show is that now I've got another really close friend, and in a totally different realm than figure skating, which is what I'm used to.
Friends, maybe more than friends. Your Dancing with the Stars co-star Mark Ballas was here recently, and he sat down with me, and I tried to get him to set the record straight about the real relationship between Meryl and Max's insane chemistry. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
But with Dancing with the Stars, it's meant to be fun. It's a different experience. You have to be smiley and sexy and sensual and have chemistry with your partner. And I think they just had natural, awesome chemistry on the dance floor. I don't know whether they're, and I'm not going to be the one that confirms or denies.
Good job, Mark.
So what's going on?
I've never been one to comment on my personal life, but yeah, I mean, Max and I have an amazing relationship. Our chemistry, I think, definitely stems from, our friendship, the time we spent together on and off the dance floor, and we had an amazing time.
It's funny, you say you're not one to comment on your personal life, yet we just all want to know. I feel like there have been plenty of dating rumors between the two of you swirling, but you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it's just so interesting. Why do you think that we just assume?
I think it's interesting. It's part of the territory of portraying characters that have to look like they're in love, and we learned that in figure skating, and it was something that for both of us it didn't come naturally. We had to really work at it because you want to make it believable. You want people to walk away convinced that you are an actual couple because of the way that and we work with mimes, we work with actors, and it's a real science. And we always took it as a compliment, especially coming off the Olympics when people would ask us. And yeah, I mean, I have a girlfriend, and she's a former figure skater, so of course she's very understanding. But that's our job. That's what we want you to believe.
Sadly, our control room is completely convinced that there's something more going on. They're like in my ear. Like, no, I'm convinced. There's a picture. They're huge fans of the show. Totally convinced.
Aww.
Then there it is. And I believe I'm making you blush.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It is kind of cute, though, right?
That's actually real time. That's how long they held that pose.
No, this is actually, this isn't even frozen. This is just hanging out there. I have a comment here from Jennifer who says, there are so many people rooting for you and wishing you every happiness and success in your personal and professional lives. Charlie, it seems like you have found your perfect gal in
Tanith.
I want to make sure I got that right. Meryl, what are the most important traits that you value in a significant other?
I think honesty is a big thing. I think honesty and respect are the two biggest things really in any relationship. And so I think going into a romantic relationship, I think that's the greatest foundation you can have.
Same question. What are the most important traits?
Yeah, I think what Meryl said, respect and honesty, being able to trust someone, being able to have a good time with them, regardless of the circumstance. And I think having just sort of a similar outlook on and philosophy on life, from my experience, and I think it's different for everyone, but it just makes everything easier. And, I'm very fortunate that's what I have with Tanith. We're able to enjoy every situation because we have similar outlooks.
It's funny, your professional relationship is longer than most people's marriages.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
At this point, how do you think you guys have changed sort of as a team, as a pair from, 17 years ago to today?
It's an interesting question because, you grow, everyone grows so much between the ages of 8 and 9 and 26 and 27. So how have we not grown? I guess that would be an easier question to answer. But we were saying earlier that it's kind of hard to distinguish even how we've rubbed off on one another over the years. I mean, we've spent nearly all day, every day together since we were children. And so, the personality traits, how we've evolved separately and as a team, it's hard to distinguish just because we have been such a huge part of one another's lives.
Yeah, I think the respect and going back, starting off as 8 and 9-year-old kids, and we certainly thought that the other had cooties, and we didn't talk, but we loved figure skating, and our parents loved that we loved what we were doing, and so they supported us in every way and made sure that we knew what aspects you need to have in order to build a healthy relationship. And because of that, we were able to stay together, where so many other relationships in general, but of course ice dance teams, they just can't do it. And having that sort of support from home, unconditional love, made a huge difference for both of us.
Well, we have some of your biggest fans here from the HuffPost Live community who would love to say hello and ask a couple of questions. First up is Mary Beth Grice, and she's a graduate student. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi.
Hello.
Go ahead,
Hi.
Mary Beth. I know you have some questions.
Yeah. When you're not skating, what are some of your favorite things to do?
That's a great question. I love spending time outside. We're oftentimes in an ice rink all day. And so getting to be kind of soaking up some vitamin D, be outside, spend time with our families, those are kind of my go-tos.
I have an amazing dog and little DJ. We like to go for walks in the park in Ann Arbor, and reading too, I think, for us is always fun. It's a great way to spend your time.
Ariana Huffington has a new book called Thrive, and in it she talks about sort of redefining success beyond money, beyond power, and she thrives by doing things like yoga and meditation. What do you guys do to thrive?
I actually really enjoy taking a couple minutes a day just to myself. I mean, we're so busy, and especially the last couple months, but I think it's really important for me personally, and it's different for everyone, to take a couple minutes just to collect my thoughts, just be on my own and just kind of appreciate what I have. I think it's so easy to go throughout the day, and at the end of the day, it's hard to really appreciate what happened. And so taking those few minutes, I think, throughout the day is a way for me to feel successful and feel kind of fulfilled and happy in my own day.
Yeah, I think for a long time, skating was a great way for us to express ourselves and overcome obstacles, and we had such passion for it that being successful in it and always kind of topping ourselves day in and day out was a great way to thrive. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we were able to become Olympic champions, was because that to us was more than a job or a lifestyle or intense hobby, but it was something that we enjoyed, and the training of it, which is kind of interesting.
We also have JC Welch, a big Dancing with the Stars fan, joining us right now. Hi, JC.
Hi.
Hi.
What is your question?
First of all, congrats, guys, on all your success.
Thank you.
How do you deal with all of the fame that has come your way, particularly negative attention?
That's a really great question. It can be challenging at times. I think that we're really fortunate in that our kind of media attention came about relatively slowly. I think that growing as a figure skater from, young skaters to national champions to world champions to Olympic champions, I think we were really able to kind of put our toes in first, kind of test the waters, see how it was, and really learn as we went. I don't feel like we were kind of thrown into the pool.
We got negative feedback little by little.
Yes, exactly.
Did you expect to become as sort of famous? Did you expect this celebrity to come?
No. I didn't. I don't think Meryl did either. It was never something that we chased after or expected or even hoped for. I think both of us for a long time would pretty consistently be like, I don't want to be famous, because you look at people that can't go out and just be normal, and it seems hard, but I think as we've slowly grown into our I feel uncomfortable saying grown into fame, but we're more famous than we were. You also realize that you have the opportunity to do a lot of good things and sort of use it as a platform to be a role model as Olympic champion. It's a great place to be, to show how to conduct yourself in the most important time of your life, and that's I think what we try to do.
I think after becoming an Olympic champion, you can call yourself. It's a fair accomplishment to say, all right, at least I'm a little famous now, right? We have another one of your big fans joining us now, Cynthia Carpenter, retired school teacher. Hi, Cynthia.
Hello.
Hi. Very nice to be getting to ask you a question. I've loved your skating for years.
Thank
Oh, thank you.
And now that Dancing with the Stars is over, what are some of the other new activities that you'll be participating in as Olympic gold medal winners?
Sure. Well, actually, we're in New York right now working with Puffs. We have a number of really incredible sponsorships, and that's an honor in and of itself. And so we're working with Puffs on their release of their new soft pack tissues. So that's really cool for us to be a part of, and we're headed towards vacation relatively shortly, which is always very exciting.
But yeah, I think we have a tough time answering that question right now, because we're really just living in the moment, and we don't have plans that are weighing us down or that we need to think about. We're, like Meryl said, heading for vacation.
Where are you going on vacation? Are you going together?
We're not going together. We both happen to be going to Kauai in Hawaii. So we're really looking forward to that. That is top of the priority list. We want to just be able to relax and decompress from this whirlwind that we've been on. We haven't had a chance to do that. So it's sort of at that point, coming home, we'll start to plan and figure out what we do next.
Yeah, and like Charlie started to say, we have kind of been chasing this dream and this goal our whole lives. And so I think we've always been looking ahead, and even when we have one accomplishment kind of with a stepping stone along the way, we were always looking to what we can do next and how we can improve. And so I think for the very first time in our lives, we're so excited to just be in the moment and enjoy and really embrace what life has given us so far and not really look into the future too quickly. So we're really enjoying that moment.
Well, I hope you have the most relaxing vacation.
Thank you.
And then when do we all start training for another goal? We, all of us. I'm just gonna applaud by that.
No, I mean that's part of what has to be decided. What our immediate plans are. What are because 4 years is it's a long time.
Think how good you could get in 4 years.
No, I know. But yeah, I mean, because we've done 2 Olympics now, so we know what it's like going from one to the next one, and it's not easy. It's a real commitment. So we have to give ourselves the time to make a rational decision.
You certainly will have a zillion fans in your corner, whatever you decide. I have a question here, a Dancing with the Stars question from one of our post producers, Emily Tess-Katz, who wants to say, hi, Meryl and Charlie. What did you guys think of Candace Cameron's modest costumes on this season of Dancing with the Stars? Am I the only one who didn't think they were all that modest?
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't
Pretty
think.
odd.
I never thought to myself like, oh, the modesty. Oh God.
And it certainly never took away from anything. I mean, I know that she had a particular view and a particular stance that she was taking, and I think staying true to what she believes in, I think, is amazing. And I think she looked great on the show. I don't think her costumes were immodest, but I don't think that she.
But I think, like, coming from her background of not being a dance performer, I think you view it in a certain light, and then I think she got more comfortable because you realize that you're playing a role, much like the roles she plays on television.
Right.
And, it's not representative of who you are, but rather it evokes certain imagery or emotions based on what you're wearing and how that relates to the music and the characters. And I think we were all very impressed with how she got into that.
Okay. Figure skating, dancing. Who has better costumes?
That's a great question. One thing I think that's interesting about dancing is, at least for me as a non-professional, it was much less scary worrying about things falling off of your costumes. You can have the beads, you can have the feathers, and if it's on the floor, it's not the end of the world. Whereas for us as skaters, we have the small blades, and so if a bead falls on the ice or a hairpin or a feather, it can be completely disastrous.
Yeah, if you step on that, you're down for the count.
I think we're perhaps a little bit more limited on the ice in terms of what we can do, just in terms of safety.
And of course, we've all seen the end of Ice Castles.
Yeah.
We all know what happened when the roses
exactly.
went down there.
It helps if you can see also.
True. Very true. I have another question here from Shelley who says, hi, Meryl and Charlie. First and foremost, congratulations on all your success. I was wondering when you will be celebrating your 18 years together, any particular month, and do you guys do anything celebratory to mark the occasion?
My goodness, I've never even thought about it. We have
definitely
some
start
sort of
celebrating
anniversary that exists.
Yeah, we don't.
I think like March, maybe.
That's a good question. I think
You've completely stumped us.
I think for us, we always sort of, there's always like the season, the beginning of the season, maybe the first competition, it starts to feel real again. But yeah, there's a real gray zone there, and now you've given us a lot to think about. So
we need some sort of celebration.
Yeah.
You guys have come a long way. Is it true that I read that you had to actually put a sticker on your face when you guys first started dancing?
It was threatened. We didn't actually do it.
We never did it. We never did that.
But
Yeah.
I had a hard time looking into his eyes.
That's gotta be creepy. I mean, not that you don't have beautiful eyes, you have lovely eyes, but to be 8 years old and be just gazing in the face of another 8-year-old.
I got you. Yes.
It's gotta be weird.
No, it's even to this day, you can't just like be like this and just like take it serious. I mean, I can't, Meryl she's just like in the moment, but it's kind of silly, and the idea of making 8 and 9-year-olds do it is sillier, and especially we were shy and we didn't like have a rapport.
You're doing the blues, be sexy.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to have like a lot of it just comes from worldly experience. The idea of being able to look at like, what does that even mean? What does that represent? You don't know. Like, someone can't explain it to you. And but yeah, it was fun. I mean, learning that stuff was fun.
What do you say to those young kids, those 8, 9-year-olds who are getting into this? They see you on the podium with your gold medals. You're in your awesome costume. You've skated the skate of your life, and it looks so perfect. Yeah. What do you say to them, going into it about what kind of life you need to lead in order to get to that podium?
So many things.
I don't actually clip that. Them going, oh.
I don't know if you could get everything you need from our reaction to that, but there's no way you can sugarcoat it. I mean, it's impossibly difficult to maintain the lifestyle necessary. The work ethic, you have to enjoy what you're doing, which is not easy, and we were very fortunate to be able to do that, especially if you're going to win a gold medal, because you have to work harder than each day you have to work harder than the last. And each time you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I can work harder than how hard I'm working in this moment. Surpassing yourself day in and day out is tremendously difficult. But finding balance in your life, I think for us was very important.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like we were skipping school to, or anything like that. For us, school was incredibly important. And it's a well-rounded life that led us to success. It wasn't just focusing on figure skating or ice dance. Having supportive parents that aren't pushing you to be a figure skater, but pushing you to chase your passion. And so if you're not passionate about ice dancing, then find what you are and champion that. But there's so much, we have to write it down and read it.
I think for us too, one of the things looking back that we're grateful for is the disappointments are not fun. There are difficult times, and we certainly had our fair share of, minor setbacks and things that seemed devastating at the time. And yet, you learn from them, you become stronger as a result of them, and it's hard to see that at the time, but in retrospect, it really is those difficulties and those things that seem like setbacks that prepare you for eventual success.
Mm-hmm.
I have one last question from a member of our community, Debbie, who says, hi, Meryl and Charlie. Meryl, you are an awesome dancer and prove that the nice gal can finish first. Will you ever be able to get Max to ice skate with you?
I'm working on it. We'll see.
Okay, we'll take a video of it because I think we all want to see.
Yeah. I'd actually love to see any of the instructors and the
it's
show
funny.
on the ice.
Sometimes when they would be doing the most amazing thing, that I'm like, I could never replicate that, no matter how hard I work. I would have to think to myself put them on the ice. Let's see what they can do.
There were several times when I would be watching the female dancers, especially like a rumba, where their bodies just continue to move. There's no stopping. And I just can't fathom how that happens. But Charlie did get Sharna on the ice, in her shoes. He was whipping her around, doing some lifts, and I think she had a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, I think everyone would love to see that if you do.
I'll make it happen.
Put it on video, because we would love to see that here. I want to thank the members of our community for joining us, Stacey, Mary Beth, and Cynthia. And of course, everyone who wrote in. And Meryl and Charlie, thank you so much for joining us.
We'd like to thank Puffs for bringing us out to New York today. That's the reason why we're able to have this lovely conversation with you. Thank you very much. Go check out their soft pack. It's incredible. Puffs.com. So
we have all of those links below in our resource well if you want more information about the new Puffs soft pack. And of course, all the information on Meryl and Charlie is down there too. And stick around. There's a lot more coming up on HuffPost Live.